Today we're going to make a cotton dishcloth using scrubby yarn in a new, easier way. We're going to use sugar and cream cotton yarn and Scrubby by Red Heart yarn. There's two different kinds. There's scrubby cotton and there's scrubby polyester. For dishcloths, we're going to use the scrubby polyester. First thing we're going to do is make single stitch chain, putting however many you want, 10 at a time. So I'm going to wrap my hook around, up, do one chain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For this example, I'm going to do 20 stitches, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now I'm going to put my finger on the second stitch, and then I'm going to add 3 stitches plus 1 because I'm going to be making double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3 plus 1. And then I'm going to loop under, reach over to where my finger was on that second stitch, and do a double crochet. And then I'm going to take a single crochet, skip a stitch, do another double crochet, do a single stitch, skip a stitch, do another double crochet, and I'm going to keep going because I want to make these little holes like this. So I'm going to keep going across until I get to the end. Okay, I'm almost to the end of my 20 stitches doing double crochet and a single crochet. Okay, I'm going to do a single crochet here, and I'm going to loop around to do another double crochet on the very end, and pull that in and go through the first 2 loops and then through the last one, and I'm at the end of my 20 stitches. Now I'm going to do 4 chain stitches. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to do another double crochet and go right on top of the double crochet on the bottom. We're going to be making a kind of a waffle stitch. I do a single crochet, then I do a double crochet, a single crochet, and a double crochet. Okay, I'm now almost to the end of the second row. I did 1 single stitch, and I'm going to do a double stitch right here in those 2 loops there and pull it up, and I have 2 rows that looks like waffle stitch. Here's a dishcloth that I've gotten the size that I want. This one happens to be 30 chain stitches across, and I've already put some scrubby in here, but you can fold it like this if you want a perfect square, and that is a perfect square. And then I get my scrubby yarn out And so you can see it, I've picked purple, and I've cut it, and I want a loop on the end, and I have my yarn needle. I'm going to put these two on the end through the yarn needle, just like this. Now I'm all ready to weave my scrubby yarn. And I'm going to start on the corner. I'm going to run this up through, and it gets easier as you go once you get used to it. I'm going to grab this loop right here, put that through, and pull it down, and that's how I start with the scrubby yarn. And this can be fun for kids too if they're interested in making crafts. But you weave your yarn needle in and out of the waffle holes, and just keep going and pulling it through. It goes very easy. Very easy. And there, I'm already through my first row, and I don't want to pull it really tight. I just want it so you can still stretch a little bit, but there's nothing hanging down. Now I'm going to flip it around, and I'm just gonna go the opposite way. So this one was over here. I'm going under, but it doesn't really matter. You can do it whatever way you want, as long as you weave it in. Keep going. Keep pulling it through. Now we're at the end, and I'm getting ready to pull the end of the scrubby through. And there's a little bit in there, but not enough to go through again. And the easy way to cut the ends off is to take one of them, put it through the needle, and go up through the stitching, the next row of stitching, to hide it. And just weave it in there. And this scrubby yarn is so neat that you don't even need a knot. Just push the needle through, and keep pulling it, making sure it's not too tight. And I'll run that back through there, and all I have to do is trim it. I have one more piece to go through, and I don't have to go through the same one. I can go in the stitches behind it, just to get it secure. Scrubby yarn is very easy to weave in and trim the end. I'm going to pull that, make sure it lays nice and flat. And there's the back. And trim it off, and it will never come out. Okay, now I'm going to show you with two different yarns how to put a nice edge around your dishcloth that will also close in all the ends of the scrubby yarn. And if you want, before you put your scrubby yarn through, you can leave your yarn attached on the end, so it's easier when you go to put the edge on it. So I'm going to put this pink yarn on here so you can see it, and I'm going to do single stitches all the way around, and this will close in your scrubby yarn so it won't be going anywhere. And it makes it look pretty too. And sometimes I stop and stretch it a little bit. And I keep going. And you can also use different colors, just like I'm doing here. You can use the same color, or you can change the color. That's the fun of making something for yourself. As you can see, I got all the way to the corner with my single stitches, and it has a nice edge on there, and it holds the scrubby yarn in there really good. Now, you could just leave an edge like this, and this is how your dishcloth would look. I have a blue one I finished, and all I put was single stitches all the way around. And then when I got to the corner, I put a loop to hang it. And this size is really good for washing dishes and wiping your counter down, and the cotton holds the water and soap real good, and the scrubby works good. I'm also going to show you how to put a little extra edge on it. I'm going to go ahead and do 3 loops. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do double stitches all the way across. And do every single stitch. Puts a really nice edge on. Okay, I've switched dishcloths, and you can see a pretty purple color. And this dishcloth I've gotten all the way around with my edge of the double crochet, and I'm up to the last corner, and I'm going to go ahead and grab this end of the corner with a single crochet, and then I'm going to do 12 chain stitches. Oops. Every once in a while I slip. And this is what makes your loop to hang up your dishcloth. And I'm just going to go right and just pick a place to end it and do a single stitch. And there's your loop. And all we need to do is trim our yarn. Pull that through. And there's my completed dishcloth. And all we do on this end is I like to take the yarn needle, put it in there, just run it through some real tight stitches. And to make it really secure, I don't think I've ever seen anyone else do this, but to make it really secure and it won't come apart, I take my needle and I split my yarn into 4. 2 little strands on one side and 2 little strands on the other. And then I weave one side through. All right, through the needle. And then I pull it through, and then with my 2 strands, I just tie a little knot. And that little knot will never come apart. And there's my completed dishcloth. Please like and subscribe and let us know if you have any ideas you'd like us to try. And some other examples I have is that I've made a heart for Valentine's. I made a watermelon scrubby, which was kind of neat. And I got fishies. And round like a snail shell. And these all work great, and they hang up and they dry really well. Thank you. Bye.